Good morning. So I have spent much of the week finishing the recording. I'm not quite done yet, but finishing the recording of the original Science of Mind textbook. I've spent hours back in the sound booth with my computer program and my special little microphone with the windscreen and the light and the book with all the pages in it, and going a little bit forward, a little bit back, a little bit forward, a little bit back, a little editing and cutting and all of that. And what that has allowed me to do is to remember how much I love this teaching. I love this teaching. I love the clarity that it was brought forth from Ernest Holmes. And as I'm reading that, I'm going, damn, this is good stuff. This is great stuff. And I love the idea that once it's recorded, Devon will put it up on the website, and anybody all over the world can download it and listen to it for no charge. Everything on our website is at no charge. And in doing that, I'm just kind of re-stimulated into the fundamental concepts of this teaching. So today I want to talk about causes and conditions, because most people live their life thinking that that which is on the outer, the world of effect, the world of physical form, which is a condition in life, they think that that's what's going on. They get up in the morning, they deal with time. They have financial issues, they deal with money. They have health issues, they're dealing with their physical body. But when we come into Science of Mind, we hear this really bizarre idea. And that bizarre idea says that the outside really has no substance unto itself. That we live in a reflective universe. And this universe simply reflects back to us that which we hold in mind or know on an energetic level. So he starts off by explaining that whatever God is all that there is, this infinite, absolute, self-creative cause. And that we are not individuals in that, not a piece of the divine. We are individualizations. We are a movement of spirit as us into form. So there's no separation in the divine. We cannot say, well, I'm over here and God's over there. We cannot even say, I'm over here and you're over there. Because all of spirit is manifest at every point simultaneously. That means all of God shows up as you. And I know you can't get that consciously. But conscious awareness is not where it's at for Science of Mind. Conscious awareness is what we use to direct law. Conscious awareness is our choice. It's our ability to choose what we think and say, but that's not the big thing. The big thing is what happens to our thoughts and our words after we loose them into this oneness of spirit. Because when we let go of them, then physical form takes place. And I want to tell you, physical form means millions of dollars, waking up in the morning after only 3 hours sleep, filled with energy, feeling great, looking great, living a great life. Physical form means things that might or might not have worked out, working out. Physical form means loving at a deeper level than you ever thought possible, feeling better about yourself than you ever have. Physical form showing up according to what we think and say is a big deal. Doesn't matter whether it's never happened before. For that matter, that which has never happened before has to happen, or everything would be static. If we only had what's happened up until now, there would be no growth, no evolution, no expansion. There couldn't be an infinite, because there would be a place where life or spirit stopped. Well, we can't have it go any farther. It's never happened before. It has to happen for us to even be here. So whether it's impossible, great, that's yours to do. Whether it's never happened before, that's on your plate to have happen. And it must, and it has, over and over and over again. And so we come into Science of Mind and we say that which is on the outer, it's old news. Abraham says that that's last moment's manifestation. Don't even worry about it. All you need to do is be concerned with what you're setting law in motion with, through your thoughts and your words. Love is my decision. If you make a decision to love, you're going to have love. Nobody says what may happen or not happen. You're going to have love because you've decided to have love. Prosperity, health, wholeness, success, if that is your choice in life, that will manifest. But so many people look at the outer and say, well, I can't do it because, that's my job. So many people are locked into, well, that's all the money that I have because that's all my paycheck is. That is a limited view of reality. I heard Drew was stepping on diamonds this morning. God has ways of giving you money and prosperity that you've never even dreamed of yet. Oh, well, I'm just stuck in this physical experience because I'm such and such an age or have such and such a condition. No, that's a very limited view. And when we look at the outer and let it determine our inner, then we are not going anywhere but backwards. The trick is to move from condition to cause, because every condition is an effect of a cause. And you can see it. The cause is inherent in the condition. If I have not enough, that's because I've been worrying about not having enough. And so I did that. I created that. Living in an abundant universe, I marvel at the power that we wield to create lack and limitation. We are so powerful that we can stop the flow of all of life simply by insisting that there's not enough. Or we can simply open up to a new cause, knowing that no matter what the condition appears to be, it must shift. It must shift to come into alignment with that new cause. Our only job is to hold the new cause in place, and that's an inner experience, and to let go of our attachment to the outer condition or effect, and then watch it shift. But sometimes I know that I am a being of light and love and infinite joy and happiness. Oh no, something was interrupted by a political debate and I wanted to see that on TV. I know that I am an infinite love, an infinite being of light and love and happiness. Oh no, this happened in my life. And we go back and forth and back and forth. And the important part of that is to stay in your knowing and not give a rip about what happens. And that takes inner discipline. To be able to stay in your knowing of your vibrant health, even when you feel crummy, takes discipline. To be able to stay in your inner knowing of abundant prosperity, even if something's bouncing, takes discipline. To be able to stay in your awareness of love, even when somebody is in your face, takes discipline. And to be able to look at your physical body and know that you are alive and well, vibrantly healthy, filled with energy, eternally youthful, takes discipline. But I tell you, if you will let go of the world of effect or the world of conditions and move your awareness back to where all of that comes from, which is the world of causes, you will be able to control the conditions in your life. In the Declaration of Principles, Ernest says, we believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe that we can control the conditions in our life, but only if we can control ourselves. We can't be bouncing off the walls, reacting to every little thing that happens, and expect the conditions in our life to reveal something different. They will be a direct reflection of the bouncing craziness that we have done. And sometimes, you come to see me, you say, I have bouncing crazy conditions in my life. And instead of saying, oh, poor baby, that's so bad, everybody's powerful but you are the only victim in the universe, I say, well, what bouncing consciousness have you been flinging around the universe? What reactions have you been, you don't know how bad it was. I don't care. I don't care, it takes discipline. It takes discipline to ignore the conditions, to not get hooked by what's happening on the outside. It takes discipline to completely turn away from what you do not want in your life. And that means you can't say it. Eventually, you will not be able to think it. And you certainly can't act upon it. If you think it and say it and act upon it, you're going to bring it right back into your world, and then you're going to look at it and go, well, I guess this stuff doesn't work. My life is the same old way it always has been. Well, if your life is the same way it always has been, it's because you are the same way you have always been. If you want to change the conditions in your life, you must change the cause. And the cause has nothing to do with physical form. It doesn't have anything to do with what the people in your life are doing, what your money's doing, what your body's doing, what your job is doing, what your car is doing, what your dog is doing. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with what you are doing. And when you change the cause in your life, you will command the force of heaven and earth to come together and to manifest in physical form miracles, impossibilities, things that people said would never happen will be your norm because you have learned how to use the power of this mind. I love that in the olden days, you know, back in the early 1900s, this teaching was used very much for physical healings. We didn't have antibiotics, we had terrible surgeries, tuberculosis was rampant, and people would come and they would be prayed over, they would have someone see them clearly as the God being that they are, and they would get better. They would go from dying to living based on a different idea. At some level, I wish we still had that. You know, sometimes I just want to do an old-fashioned healing service where people come up with their crutches and I touch them on the forehead and they fall over backwards because I know that that is possible, and I know that for that matter, we have that all the time. We have people who come and say, they took the biopsy, it came back, blah, 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 because that's all that is blah, blah, blah. It came back, blah, 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 and I would like you to know that it's love, love, love. And so we join with them and we affirm the truth. We go back to the cause. We don't want to hear about the condition. We don't want to hear the story. We certainly don't want to hear their doctor's name or when the appointment is scheduled for. We go back to cause and know that if God is all that there is, and if we live in a healthy universe, which we do, if we are inherently created out of health and wholeness, then that health and wholeness must be at the point of this physical condition right here and right now. We set cause in motion and command all of the creative power of life itself, and it changes. How many people have had physical healings in this center? Look around the room. How many people have had any kind of healing in this center? Look around the room. That is because of our ability to turn away from the condition, to stop looking at what is, and to begin to look at what is in a greater level, what is true spiritually of us, and then watch how that changes as the form of our lives. Nobody is the boss of you but you. Nobody can tell you what you can do in this life. Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot have. Nobody can tell you how far you can go. The only one that can do that is you. And if you let yourself get stopped by a little old thing like impossible, we do the impossible all the time. We have to, or we would all be dead. You've already done the impossible over and over and over again. So what's the sale of a house? What's the close of a deal? What's finding someone to just bounce your love off of? You know, it has nothing to do with the other person. It's all about how much love can you bounce off somebody. You can have just a whiteboard in front of you and be so in love because you're bouncing love off. It has nothing to do with what the doctors have said. You are the only one who can determine where your life will go. But I guarantee you, if you can let go of where it is and focus on where you want it to be, if you can connect to this greater I am than you can consciously even think of, if you can know that there's already within you the health and wholeness and success and joy and prosperity of all of life, then the things that will happen in your life will cause the people around you to have their jaws drop and say, how in heaven did that happen? Well, I knew. I knew the difference between a condition and a cause. I knew that I am cause to my experience. I stopped giving my power away to what was, because that's all physical form is, and I began to focus it on what I truly am, who I have come here to be, God showing up in form as me now, perfect, whole, and complete. That's the life that you are meant to have. That's the life that this teaching will give you. It's a little shift, but it makes all the difference. And so it is.